We talk about OAuth stuff right now. It keeps us up at night. And I think you and I are both, we see that there's strong identity controls in place now. Like you're saying MFA, right? If you have passkeys deployed, they're pretty much they're very hard to phish. I'm not gonna say unphishable, but they're very hard to phish. And it leads us to this next point, which is attackers are pivoting to OAuth, right? I think these breaches that we just talked about illustrate that very well. They're starting to see that this is a way into an account, into an environment that is very powerful, but doesn't really require you to take over the full identity of an account, right? And so if we start thinking about OAuth, we start talking about how OAuth wasn't designed for security, right? And that was one of the things we were talking about when we were prepping for this. Do you mind walking us through that a little bit? What does that mean that OAuth wasn't designed for security?
Yeah, so OAuth fundamentally is an authorization protocol, not an authentication protocol. And maybe this is a bit trite, but I call it best efforts for security, especially in cases, I'll pick on Google because it's my favorite thing to pick on. The OAuth scopes that we see in Google Workspace today are a step forward from the application-specific passwords that we saw where you give an application access to your entire Google identity. So we're taking a step forward by using OAuth scopes. But when it comes to the drive scopes for read access, you can get very broad. And because of that broad access, you still end up with security gaps. And I think that's what's captured here is overprivileged versus least privileged.